Hi, it's February 5th, 2016, about 12:03 p.m. I'd like to go over this little medicine ball set of web pages that I created. I have an image for my folder, so instead of just seeing a folder on my desktop, I see a picture of this medicine ball. Well, I took a picture of my medicine ball that my husband bought me, 8-pound medicine ball. And I also took pictures of the brochure that came with the medicine ball because there were models that showed 7 different exercises. So I took pictures of those as well and resized stuff, cropped it, so that it would be a reasonable fit. And then I took this medicine ball picture and I opened it in Paint. I resized it, I cropped it to a square, resized it to 100 pixels by 102 pixels, and I saved it as a bitmap file. And then I renamed it as an ICO file. So it was saved as medicineball.bmp, and then I right clicked and hit rename, and I just took the BMP off and changed it to ICO. So now this is medicine ball ICO file. And I'm using that ICO file to be an image for my folder. Well, let's pretend this is just a regular folder and you don't see the ball. Regular old folder on your desktop. You right click and go to Properties. You go to Customize. You go to Change Icon. And then you have to browse to where your ICO file is. Well, on my desktop, my folder called Medicine Ball, you see it says File Folder. If I open that, you see this 8-pound medicine ball.ico file. You click on that after you create it, hit OK, hit Apply, hit OK, and then you get an image instead of a folder for your desktop. So if you have a bunch of different websites that you're creating, web page designs, or if you have a folder for bills or you have a folder for recipes, whatever you have folders for on your desktop, you can actually give them pictures to go along with the name. And, just something to do if you want to be a little creative. Okay, enough of that. When we open up this medicine ball folder, I'll show you what all's inside of it. I have an external style sheet called style.css. I have the main page, which is called medicineball.html. A lot of times when people make websites, their main page that opens everything else is called index.html. A lot of times I'll have an index or I will have the name of whatever the web page is about, and I might put the word in front open, like I might call this open medicineball.html. Generally, what I like to do when I have lots and lots of files like this to alleviate some confusion is I will have my one file that opens everything, and then I'll have a folder that I'll create right now, new folder, and I'll name it box, because everything else is going to go inside of box. So let me drag everything into box. If I can copy and paste all this, that would be great. Everything except for my main page that opens everything else. Oops. Drag it all into box, one more, and my style sheet. Okay, and my JPEGs. Okay, so now when you open up the folder Medicine Ball, all you see is one folder called box and medicineball.html. Now because I moved everything into a folder, I have to do some changes to the code Medicine Ball. So if I hit edit with Notepad, the few things that I will need to do, anything I'm linking to originally was all in the same folder, so I didn't have to worry about my path being anything different. But now my path has to include the folder called box. So for my link, let's run this in Firefox. No, actually, let me launch it in Chrome. Okay, and let me right click this and let my windows be side by side. As you can see, I have a broken image right here. I have a big page, and it's not using my style sheet correctly. This is completely not the way this page is supposed to look. And it's because I just changed the path by shoving everything in another folder. So let me take, first of all, my link to my medicineball.ico will be box/medicineball. My title stays the same. My style sheet link, my href, has to also point to box first, / and then the style sheet. So now when I save this, you'll see something totally different. Well, almost totally different. Not quite. Let's see, what else do I need to change? My aref that opens up a page is in the box. And actually all of these have to go from the outer medicine ball HTML into the box folder in order to access these other pages. So I'm just going to paste all of these. We've got 7 external pages. My iframe, I don't have to do anything with that, and that's all there is to that page. Let me refresh the page now, see what kind of changes. I'm still not seeing what I need to see. Oh, all of my images, for my image links that you cannot see up here, you can see a broken page. You could see the words tricep image. Those words tricep image are because I have inside my image tag alt equals tricep image. It means that if your image is broken and you can't see it or you misspelled it, you at least get to see the words. And this title tricep is what happens when I hover over where the image is supposed to be, and you see, you get this little tooltip that says tricep. So that's what that little thing does. So I have to put box here as well. So I'll just copy this box with the / I'll just copy it because I have to put it in front of every single one of these image links so that you can see the images. And I'm almost done. All right, now hopefully, there we go. There's all my 7 image links. Each of these images, when you click on it, will open up a different web page down here in the bottom because there's an iframe down here. If I go over the code really quick before I finish all the rest of changing my paths, here's the beginning HTML. Here's the head tag. In the head tag, again, this link right here, link rel equals shortcut icon href equals box / 8poundmedicineball.ico, type equals image / x icon. That's given me this medicine ball image up here in the tab of my Google Chrome. The title tags right here, inside the title tags are the words medicine ball, and if you look up the Google Chrome tab, you see the words medicine ball. Then we have this link right here, link rel equals style sheet, type equals text / css, href equals box / style.css. That is giving us the styles that we're going to use in all the elements here. I'm not using a JavaScript, but if I do, this commented out is like a template. If I create a JavaScript, I'll just change the name to whatever I change it to. And if I put it in box, I'll have it in box, but then it'll have a different name. Like I'll just say name.javascript. I'll just change the word name to whatever I name my JavaScript. But that's not being used, it's just being commented out. We have a style for medicineball.html just for the image, because everything else, all the other styles that this page is going to use, is going to point to this style.css page in the folder box and use those styles. But for this particular one, we just have one style, and it's for the image. These images that are my image links: border thick black ridge, border radius 20 pixels, height 100%, and margin bottom 5 pixels. Height is 100% of this div that it's in, this div that has the ID of nav. So there's the end of the style, the end of the head. Now in the body, we're going to look at these elements. So again, there's the div, the ID nav, and inside this long rectangle, which is the div with the ID of nav, we have all of these image links. We have 7 of them. And this is how you make an image link. You start off with the aref tag, which is to link something. Aref equals box. We have to go into the box folder I created, /1.html. Then we're going to open that 1.html in something that's called TV, because when I get to the bottom of this code, down here in this bottom square is an iframe, and it has an ID of TV and a name of TV. The name TV is means when we have target TV here, 1.html is going to open up in that target, this iframe with the name of TV. And here is the ending link tag, /a. Inside of that link, instead of having just words that you normally click on words to take you somewhere else, we're going to use the image instead. And so we have image border equals 0, source equals box. Again, we got to go in the box I created, /tricep.jpg. That's this image you're looking at right here. Title equals tricep. That's giving us the tooltip again when we hover over it. Alt equals tricep image. That's when the images we're not showing, you've seen the words tricep image. So this is everything you need to know to make an image link into an iframe. And I do the same thing over and over again. Aref equals box /2.html, target equals TV, image border equals 0, source equals box /side sweep. This time we're using a different image, sidesweep.jpg. Title equals side sweep, alt equals side sweep, image, and then the end of the image. This is the end of the image tag, and this is the end of the aref tag. So that's how we get the second one here. And I'm not going to read every one of these because it's all basically repeats. The only thing that changes is what page opens and what image you're looking at to click on. So we got this over and over and over again. There's the 6th one, here's the 7th one, and then there's the end of the div. The end of the div that I gave the ID of nav. So that's how we did this upper rectangle here that has these rounded image corners that if you click on them, it's going to open something down here. Now, when we get out of that div, this is where my iframe goes. I have a div with an ID of content. That's this square down here. Here's our iframe. iframe ID equals TV, name equals TV, source equals nothing, which as you see right now when you first open the page, there's nothing here. Scrolling equals auto, frame border equals 1, height equals 99%, width equals 99%, end of iframe, end of the content div, end of the body, end of the HTML. That is all the code to create this page. Now, let's click on something. Let's click on the tricep image and see what we get on the inside. Now look what opens up. This is a video of me over here. This is the picture of the models that came with a brochure that came with a ball. And you will see me attempt to do what she's doing. She's holding the ball over her head and then she's putting it behind her neck. And I did this yesterday and I did 50 repetitions. And this video you can pause. You can play, and when it gets to the end of the video, it just loops. So it has autoplay, it shows the controls, it loops, and it's muted. So if there are any noises or anything, that's not going to show up, supposedly. I should have, because my cell phone actually has a feature where I can turn the audio off when I'm doing a video, and then I won't have to worry about any audio bumpy noises or scratches or whatever in the background period, but I didn't realize that when I was doing these videos, so there may be an occasional sound, so that's why I wanted to set the video tag to muted. Okay, this right here that opened up in this iframe is what page 1 is. It's called 1.html, and let me show you inside box. Here's 1.html. Let me edit with Notepad and show you the code for that quickly. Here's 1.html. If I just open this right here, this whole thing with all the image links at the top and the iframe, that's the medicine ball.html. it's opening a separate external page in here. Let me just run that by itself. We'll launch that in Chrome too. And this is just what one.html page looks like. And here I am. It's automatically playing. I can set the video to not automatically play as well, so that the user has to click on it in order to make it play. But for the purposes of this exercise, I let it autoplay. There's the HTML beginning tag. Here's the head. Again, all of my pages have a link to a style sheet, an external style sheet. Link rel equals style sheet, type equals text / CSS, href equals style.css. Now, because this page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, and page 7.html are opening up in this iframe right here, I don't need to worry about putting an icon up here or a title, because you're not going to see this tab. The only tab you're going to see is the one for medicineball.html. So I didn't need to set that stuff up here. So that's why you're not going to see it when I talk about the stuff that's in the head. The only thing I've got is a link to the external style sheet and a style that is for only this image and only this video. I have an image style of a width of 80%, so this image right here has a width of 80%, and this video has a width of 38%. Because all of my images from the models of the brochure that I took with my cell phone were not all cropped with the exact same dimensions, the same height and width, there is a variation to how these sit in this table. My video is always the same size. It was taken by the camera. It's all, the same. It's always the same size. So I didn't need to really worry so much about this if this were by itself. But because I have this table row in this table, and I want to fill up as much of both table data cells as possible, and these images to the left vary in length, in width, and height. I had to mess with the width and height of the image and video because I'm using percents, and as I make my page smaller, my viewport smaller, because I'm using percents, my video and my image get smaller as well. And this is as small as I can get it. This down here, I have a second table row with one table data cell, and I just have a paragraph in here that just says February 4th, 2016 equals 50 reps. So this little exercise with the ball behind the neck and then extending for your triceps, I did 50 reps. So every time I do this exercise and I up the reps, I'll just change it in this little section, and then that'll be my new goal to beat. If I open this up full page, you see that there's white space here and there's white space here. I have the style for my, I believe it's my table data cell, set to text align center, so that these images, no matter how wide they actually are, depending on the size of the viewport, whether it's very narrow like this or full screen, it will float in the middle and not just lean to the left or to the right and look awkward. So at least they're centered. Okay, so that's the style in the head for just these two elements. All the other styles for this page grab on to whatever's in this style.css external style sheet. So that's the end of the head. Now let's look at the body of this page. I can open this up a little more. I just look like I'm frowning there. Ooh, that's a picture. And might as well look like I'm smiling. There you go. Okay, but div ID box. That's a div that I am using to encompass the table itself. And it's got a thick black border. There's the table. Here's the entire div, opening and closing div tag. And nested inside of that is a table. And nested inside of the table are two table rows. There's one row and there's the second row. In the first row, we have two table data cells. That's this top row right here that's holding the image and the video. So here's the first table data tag, and inside it is the image. Image source equals tricep.jpg. Here's the second table data cell, and inside of that is the video control. Video controls, autoplay, loop, and muted. Then I have source, src equals 1.mp4. That's the name of this video. I saved it from my cell phone as 1.mp4. And type equals video/mp4. If you're using a browser that does not use the video tag, then this error message will pop up. Your browser does not support the video tag. So there's the end of the video control, the end of the second TD, the end of the first TR, which is again is table row. Here's the second table row. There is one table data cell in it, but it has a call span of 2, which means it stretches over the length of the 2 table data cells above it. So it's one table data cell, but being a call span of 2 makes it stretch all the way across, since we are making a table that has a maximum of 2 table data cells. You could make a table with 4 table data cells next to each other in the first row, but if you wanted this next row to be all the way across from one side to the other, then you would say TD call span equals 4 in that case. All right, so let's just get back to the task here. Inside of this long table data cell, I have a paragraph. And in the paragraph, I have February 4th, 2016 equals 50 reps. And you see that right there. All right. The end of the table data cell, the end of the table row, the end of the table, the end of the div, the end of the body, the end of the HTML. And I do this exact same page 7 times. And the only thing that's different is whatever comment I put in the paragraph and whatever name of video is going to go in here, and the name of the image that's going to show up to the left. That's the only oh no, that's not the only thing that's different. There will also be a variation with the image width percent and the video width percent, because I had to foo-foo around over and over again with the different pages, looking at the page when it's little, looking at the page when it's big, until I came up with a happy medium of what I wanted to set these percentages to. Now I've looked at full screen and on my desktop monitor, and I've squeezed it in as small as I could possibly make it fit on my desktop. What I have not done is to zip all these files in a zip file and then send it to my Google Drive and then open it up and watch it on Chromecast on the big screen TV. I haven't done that yet. Once I put it on my Google Drive and unzip it and open it up, I can open it up anywhere, on a tablet or somebody else's device, just to see how well it opens, or if I need to make more adjustments. Now, if I have a problem with how it looks in the different sizes of devices, what I'll have to do at that point is make multiple style sheets. Instead of everything bouncing off of one style sheet, I will create 3 or 4 style sheets, maybe a tiny style sheet, tiny.css, small.css, medium.css, large.css, and extra large.css, for example. And in all of those style sheets, I'll do a little something different so that I can ensure that no matter what size device this is opening up on, it will look fairly the same across the board. All right, so let's see. I went over all of the code in both my main page, my medicine ball, and one of the external pages. Like I said, I don't have to repeat for 2.html, 3.html4 all the way to 7, because it's all the same code with only the images, the paragraph, the video, and the width of the video and image style. It's the only thing that's different. So let me show you the end result here, and some of my My little exercise things are a little silly looking, but I didn't do this to advertise my exercise prowess. I did this to study my web design and my multimedia functionality amongst web pages, and to give anyone out there who might want to do something like this themselves a little template where they can do the same thing but use their own pictures. Maybe instead of doing exercise, maybe they might want to do a recipe thing. And all these up here, you might have images of your end result of your recipe. And over here, it might be your picture of whatever the food is. And over here, you might do video snippets of you cooking it or you discussing it, or like you have your own little cooking show and you put your little videos over here on the right, and link to them by these. If you don't want to use the image links, you can use these as regular text links. Let me go back to my medicine ball main page here and show you how easy it is to do that. Here's my div nav, and inside here I'll comment out the image tag, which, where does it end? It ends right here. Okay, so I would have aref box/1.html target TV. That's the opening link tag. Here's the closing link tag. But I would just have a word that would be triceps. So let me save this, and let me move this a little bit and refresh the page, and you can see instead of the image you have the word triceps. And so when you click on triceps, your page opens up. The second one, I'll just show you real quick the second one here. This was the second. See, now I hear a little something, and this is supposed to be muted, so I'm not sure if muted is working or not, but I heard a little noise from me turning the cell phone on to start the video. Anyhow, I did not, this is showing you, since I clicked on this second one, the side sweep exercise. What I didn't do in page 2, which is 2 HTML, let me find it right here, right click, edit with notepad. What I did not do was this paragraph tag. This was the template. It just said, hi there, this is a paragraph. I don't know if I want to use one or not, but I'm taking up some space just to see what it looks like. I didn't put how many side sweeps that I did. I could sit there and watch the video and count them. Let's see, February 4th, 2016 equals blank side sweeps. So I could say side sweeps, I could say reps or whatever. And that will change down here. See, February 4th, blank underscore side sweeps, and when I count how many are there, I'll just move a number in there. So that's the side sweeps. This was some lunges, and I did this in the office in front of the windows. Our balcony is, or our porch is right there. And it kind of makes you feel like you're bowling. This particular exercise feels like a bowling move. And the next one, when I first did it, I felt like I was jogging with the ball because it's this medicine ball ski jumps. So I wasn't sure if you're supposed to bounce around or if you were just supposed to be more of a twist and a reach. So the first one I did was more like a bounce, and then I didn't think that I didn't think that watching the video really looked like the model. So I tried to emulate the way her body is doing more of a twisting motion where her ball and her back foot are almost reaching each other. It's kind of like you're trying to push the ball to your foot. And it looks really silly, and my husband laughed his butt off when he watched it. But it's a silly looking move, but it actually, you could feel the twist in your waist, so I think it's good if you're trying to trim your midsection. And then I've got the next one here. I don't have a mat on the floor to do this 45-degree twist, so I used my mini trampoline so that I would have support for my tailbone and my back. And I tried it on the floor, but it hurts. And so it worked just fine. I did bother with that. I said I did 30 reps back and forth doing that. I think I did not do reps for this one. Yeah, this one, page 3, I have to figure out how many reps or minutes. If it's some strange move and you don't count reps, maybe I'll just do it minutes. Then the sixth one was also on the floor without a mat, so I used my tramp again. And this looks like too easy. Like, what is this supposed to do for you? I only did 20 reps, and as ridiculously easy as this motion is, it does really good for your core. I mean, if you need to trim up your core, you can actually feel the burn relatively quickly. So I think I'll do this one quite a bit. The very last one that I have um, is push-ups, which I'm horrible at push-ups anyway, and I have small, weak hands, small fingers, weak wrists, don't have a whole lot of muscle going on in my arms, and I hated this one. I really hated this one. And on top of that, I'm not even doing a regular dude's push-up. I'm doing a girl's push-up on your knees. So trying to do that on a wooden floor, that doesn't feel good at all. So you can see that I'm just really struggling doing this. So I'm going to try to redo this, but instead maybe put my knees or my feet on my trampoline and hang my body over top and put my hands on the carpet. And I'm not even going to worry about the ball right now. I mean, if I get stronger in the arms, maybe I'll play with that ball scenario. But at this point, I'm not doing this. So those are the 7 exercises that came with the ball. And so in this little, this little thing with very, very simple web pages, I was able to create image links or show you how to do a regular worded link if you prefer, and pull in an image and a video and a little comment in a paragraph by utilizing a table. And as simple as this is, it's just a little something something, to practice web design. And also, yeah, so that I can get involved in more exercise too. I would like to go over the external style sheet. I would like to do that really quick. Where is it? Here it is, style.css. Alrighty. Style CSS. I have a body with a margin of 0 pixels auto and a padding of 0 pixels. I have an ID of box, which is indicated with the pound symbol and the word box. And if you remember, box has to do with the pages themselves, these individual external pages. There's the div ID box. And so it's got a border of 20 pixels black outset and a float to the left. If you don't do the float to the left, I don't know if I can show you or not. I'm going to misspell float left by putting a Z in front. And then I'm going to refresh the page. And and it looks like it didn't do anything any different. Well, when I was in the middle of the process of making this web design, there was a reason that I needed to put a container as float left, because the things that were on the inside, when they got bigger, they would spew out of the container that they were in. But when I gave it the style of float left, it kept everything inside and just stretched the container out. So even though I can't prove to you that right now, I'm still going to leave it in there because I know that it actually helped something that I was doing that kept my page kept breaking and stuff wasn't staying contained, and float left actually helped. So I'm going to keep that. I have image comma video, which means there's two different elements that I'm going to give this same style to. So for image and video, I'm going to give them a border of 20 pixels of purple inset. So here's my image with the purple, and here's my video with the purple. But of course, when you go to Medicine Ball page has its own style for its own images, because if I took this extra image style off in the page itself, then all these little icons would end up getting this purple same border and they wouldn't be sized properly. So I kept that there. And this image and video works for this down here. Then I have a paragraph style, text align right, margin 5 pixels, that takes whatever I put in this paragraph and it bumps it to the right, and it gives me a 5 pixel margin of padding between the text and the black border of the table data cell. Speaking of the table data cell, I have a style for that, and you got 3 table data cells here, 2 in the first row and 1 in the second. Border of thick black solid, width of 50%, and text aligned center. Now this bottom one does not have a width of 50%, only because we gave it that call span of 2. So each table data cell would take up 50%, and since this has a span of two columns, which are represented by 2 table data cells, it's then taking up 100% of the window, because 50 and 50 is 100. Then I've got pound nav, which again, that's dealing with Medicine Ball page. Here's our div ID nav. That's this rectangle that holds the image links. And again, the style for that is border thick black solid, height 10%. 10% of the box that it's in, of the div that it's in. No, I'm sorry, I take that back. The images are a percent. If I go back to Medicine Ball, the height of the images in Medicine Ball is 100% of this nav div, but it has a margin bottom of 5 pixels so that the bottom of the image does not float underneath this scroll bar space. There's a space here for a scroll bar if you need it. But for the nav, this black rectangle that they're in, the height is 10% of the height of the whole page that you're in. So if I go down like this, can you see how it's squeezing? You know, the shorter the page gets, it squeezes this nav, which in turn squeezes the images. So if you're using a very small device, this is going to squeeze it based on width, and also this nav section is only going to squeeze when it's based on the height of the entire page squeezing, since this is a percentage of 10%. The overflow of scroll is because if you get so small, now I can't do it. I have to make this longer. I have to make the height longer so that the images get bigger. Then as I make the whole page narrow, the scroll lets you get to the other images because they float down and underneath the iframe. They're like not being seen, but yet you can still access them with the scroll bar. And the nav also has a padding of 10 pixels to give you that extra little bit of white space before you see the images as well. Then I have an idea of content, and the content is giving us this black solid line. So that's in the individual external pages right here. And that is, oh, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. That's in the medicine ball main page. First you have the div ID of nav that has all those image links. Then you have the div ID of content that contains or nests the iframe inside. So that style is right here. Border thick black solid, height 83%, and display block. I can't remember how I came on to wanting that to be display block, but I'm just going to leave it because it helped me fix something and I just can't remember what it was right now. We have an A link with a text decoration of none, and I'll tell you the reason why. I don't know if it'll show me right now because I used it. I was getting these lines in between my images. Let's see, if I take text decoration off, then we should see a line under triceps to show that it's a link. See? Oh, good, it is showing. If you have just a word as a link, let's go back to my links. Here's my links. And then I have an image inside. And then I wanted to show you the difference between an image link and your regular link that just has a word. Well, when you make a link, generally you see an underline. So when you go into a web page, anybody who's been on the internet can generally understand that if they see a word with a line under it, that's going to link them somewhere if they click on it. Well, when you make an image link, it may be difficult for you to see, but in between each of these images, there's a little dash as if it thinks it's supposed to put a line underneath the images. Well, if you're not using words for the image links, you're using images, you might want to get rid of those little dashes because it just looks strange. So the way you do that is you have a colon link, and then the style is text decoration none. And then when I save that and run this again, it takes it takes the underline off. It takes the underline off of the word link, and it takes those little dashes that were in between each individual image link. It just removes those. Then the very last style I have is pound left, which means ID left, and all it does is text align to the left. And what did I use that for? Let me see, medicine ball. I don't recall what I used it for off the top. I think I used it for... I'm not seeing what I used it for. Maybe that was something oh, you know what? I'll tell you what. I remember what I used it for. Down here, where I have the paragraph, this is text align right with a margin of 5 pixels. I also wanted to test what it would look like if I put a list items here, because I thought, okay, well, I have the day that I started and how many reps. Maybe I want to put a list item. So I have a bullet point, I have my date and how many reps, and then the next time I do the exercise, the date and how many more reps, and just show this iteration of progress over and over again. I thought that's what I would do. Well, what happened was, I guess the best way is to just show you, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the 4th page. It doesn't matter what page I'm in to show you, it's just, where is it, 4.html, edit with Notepad. Down here, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's actually this one. I didn't do anything in the paragraph. This is my template paragraph. It just says, hi there, this is a paragraph. I don't know if I want to use this or not, but I'm taking up some space just to see what it looks like, blah, 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 until you see it. Well, I thought it might be interesting, instead of a paragraph, to put a list item. And I was going to put an unordered list because I wanted to use the dashes. So UL and then ending UL. And then inside of those ULs you have to put list items. And list items are LI and end LI. So then I wanted to put 3 for an example. And then I thought, okay, I'll put the date. And then I'll put, I don't know, 40 reps. And then I thought, okay, well then I just wanted to see what it would look like if I just kept showing my improvement. Let's say on the 5th I did 45, and on the 6th I did 50, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now when I refresh this page, which one am I on again? The 4.html, 1, 2, 3, 4. This was ugly because you got the dot way over here at the left and you've got the list item in the middle. And the reason this was this way is because if you look in the style, my TD, my table data cell, has a style of text align center. So and the reason I did that is because I wanted the image, no matter how wide it was, to have the same amount of white space on the left and on the right. And the same thing with my video. I didn't want my video hugging up to the left or the right. I wanted both of these to be centered. It's bad enough they're 2 different dimensions. I at least wanted them both centered. So this is a table data cell that the list item is in, and it's centered as well. So in order to get rid of that, I created this pound left, which means ID left, and it gives it its own style of text align left. So in order for me to access that style, I have to come here into my 4.html, which is this page we're looking at right now, and I have to go to my UL tag that is nesting my LIs. And I say UL, go right inside that tag, right inside that greater than symbol, and put the words ID equals, and then in double quotes the word left. So now I'm stylizing my unordered list. I save that and I refresh the page and I run it again. And now my bullet points are right next to my actual list items. That makes more sense. We made a special style just for this unordered list. Now, it seems to me that this unordered list is kind of close to this black border. So another thing I could do with that style of left is I could give it a margin and see. Either a margin or a padding will fix that or should fix that. So I'm going to give it a margin first of 5 pixels, and let's see if we get a little more white space on the top of that first list item. Yeah, it did. It brought it down just enough, just a little bit, make it look a little bit better. I'm not sure, but I think you can change the color as well. If I wanted to make my list items red, let's see. Let's see if it changes the whole thing or just the bullets. Change the whole thing. There's a way to just change the color of the bullets and not the whole thing, but I'm not going to make this video this long. So there you go. You get to see a few more elements, a little bit of multimedia, how to make image links instead of just text links, or how to take the underline off, whether you want the underline off of a word or if you want those little dash underlines when you use image links to disappear. I showed you how to do that. I showed you how to deal with the video tag. And again, in the beginning video tag, if you want the controls for the user to be able to hit pause, you have to have the word controls. If you want it to autoplay when that page opens, you have to have the word autoplay in it. If you don't want it to autoplay, just delete that word out. If you want it to loop because the video is some little short weird snippet like I've got right here, something that's only like a minute or less long and you just want it to loop, have the word loop. If you want it to stop after it is done, then don't have the word loop. And muted, like I said, that is supposed to take any audio off of it, But I swear I clicked on one of these things and I know I heard something from the cell phone when I moved the cell phone before I got to my video position. So if you want to make a video and you don't want to incorporate sound, your camera or your camcorder, see if you can find a setting that actually lets you shut that off so you don't even have to worry about sound being an issue. Because I'll tell you, when I made a video and I was counting to the video and then I replayed it, there was like a lag. There was like a delay. So you would hear me say the numbers, but it was not coinciding with my mouth. And so it was just irritating to watch. So if you have an issue like that, it's better to just get rid of the audio altogether unless you need it. I'm sure there's some kind of setting that could probably fix that too. But for little skimpy little things like this, where the quality is not all that big deal, it's just kind of funny more than anything else. You don't really have to get that involved. But if you do want to do something really good, then you got to figure out configurations and all this other good stuff that I'm not dealing with right now. So I'm going to call this the end of this one, and hopefully it did not get to an hour. Ooh, almost 50 minutes.